Hey everyone, it's me, Dr. Daniel, and welcome to the webinar. We're just going to wait a few seconds longer so that way we can make sure that anybody that's late actually makes it to the webinar. I don't want anyone really to miss out on any of the information that I'm going to be sharing with you. So let's just hang tight just for a little bit so that way we can get some people to come on in case they're wanting to watch this and they're just showing up a little late. Now that said, if any of you out there want to just tell me your name and where you're from, tell me why specifically you're here. I'm assuming many of you, it's because you struggle with low energy, or maybe you know somebody who has low energy or fatigue. So just go ahead and share just a little bit while we wait. So go ahead and just do that. Okay, now I can see here we've got a full room, so we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be on this webinar. I'm going to tell you that I won't be answering questions directly while I'm giving the webinar, but feel free to go ahead and ask questions, and at the end of it I can go back and then I can respond, you know, if any of you all had specific needs or questions during this webinar. So today we're going to be talking about 4 simple steps to reducing fatigue and increasing energy as soon as even next week. And I say that boldly. I have had the opportunity to care for thousands of people now in my career, and I will tell you that as a physician, one of the most difficult things that I've had to work with is toxic load of the body, specifically how it causes low energy and fatigue. And so some of the more difficult cases that have walked through my doors were people who were struggling with low energy and fatigue. There were people that the traditional medical model failed, or traditional treatments failed, and they really had no way out, right? They were just suffering and they were victims. They were chained to this low energy, and they thought that they were just going to have to live the rest of their life this way. And sure enough, over the last few years, I've been able to optimize a few things in order to help people out with that. And that's why I decided to go ahead and share this information right with you, because I know that there's so many people out there that need to hear this information. So I really am glad that you're here. My promise to you is that I'm going to share with you exactly how to increase energy and slash your fatigue so you can enjoy more time with your family and your friends. When it comes down to it, the main reason why someone comes to me is not because they're struggling with low energy or fatigue. Yeah, that's their symptom and that's their complaint, but it's what it's causing for them, or what it's contributing to, meaning it's taking away their joy from life. Right? They're not playing with their family anymore. They come home and they don't want to play with their kids. They don't read to their kids. Or maybe they just outright have bad attitudes towards their family members. They don't get to go on extracurricular activities, or they don't get to participate with sporting events, say at work or with their friends and their family members. Any kinds of things that you would do outside of the house or outside of your regular work environment that you'd want to enjoy, right? Working out, just going to the park. So many of these people struggle with just simple things like that, and that's unnecessary. You know, it's tragic that so many people feel that way. And so my promise to you is that if you stay and you pay attention and you act on the information that I'm going to share with you, that you can do this yourself, that you can increase your energy, that you can eliminate your fatigue, and you never have to worry about waking up tired ever again, right? That you never have to miss out on any kind of activities that are going on around you because you're going to feel so good about everything. So that's my promise, and I just want you to hold off and make sure you watch everything so that way you can grab all the information. Now, again, if you stay until the end, and this is my promise to you, again, I've had the opportunity to work with thousands of people, and part of having low energy and fatigue is sleep disruption. And so I found that a lot of people have sleeping problems or sleeping disorders and sleeping issues. And over the years, I've been able to help a lot of people with their sleep and optimize their sleep. And I've put together all of my secrets into one guide. And if you stay to the end, that's going to be a bonus for you. I'm going to give you my 7 steps to better sleep guide. And these are secrets of great sleepers. So all the things that you need to know in order to optimize and dial in on your sleep. And that's yours free just for watching this webinar. And I'll give you the link at the very end, the very last slide. So again, make sure that you stay to the end to grab all this information. Now, I'd like to have your attention. If you're somebody who struggles with low energy, if you have drops in energy, if you have fatigue, please pay attention to this webinar. And what I mean by that is get off Facebook, put your phone down, turn it off, turn off your Wi-Fi, stay off Instagram, stay off the internet, right? And just pay attention to this webinar. If there is anything that I know in life, it's that you have to become a good student, you have to be coachable, you have to learn, and then the next step is you have to execute. So I want that for you, and I want nothing more than you to experience what so many others that I've seen have experienced. And if you're going to do that, then don't check out, right? Please pay attention, write notes if you need to, if that helps, and let's dig in, okay? So who am I? I'm Dr. Daniel. I run a very large wellness clinic in Austin, Texas. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in biology, in chemistry, also in nursing, so I have a Bachelor of Science in nursing. I have graduate work in neurophysiology, neurobiology, and biochemistry. In fact, prior to becoming a doctor of chiropractic, I was working towards getting my PhD in neurophysiology. And I really realized that my goal was to help people clinically and not so much in a lab. And so I felt that I could better help people by becoming a doctor. And I wanted to do that without the use of drugs or surgical recommendations. And so I looked towards the largest natural healthcare profession in the world, which is chiropractic. And so I went to Dallas, Texas, and I became a doctor of chiropractic. I graduated in 2005. And since then, I've achieved my certification as a functional medicine physician. I've also become a certified functional diagnostic nutritionist. I've spent the last 18 years really studying human nutrition, performance, and health. And like I said earlier, the biggest obstacle that I've ever come across in trying to help somebody, a patient, is that of toxicity or toxic burden in the body, and specifically how it contributes to low energy. And so that's really where I like to help as many people as I can, because I know that it's a big issue, and I also know that it's not being addressed the right way. So on that note, imagine what your life would be like when you have so much energy that you can start enjoying your time with your family and friends again, that you don't have to worry about having no energy, that you can actually go out right on the weekends. You can go and participate in baseball or kickball or volleyball. You can play with your kiddos right outside because you have the energy to do it. What if it would, imagine what it would be like if you never had to feel bad, right, about coming home and not having the energy to read to your children, to cook good food even, right? So many people, they get caught into this vicious cycle where they get home and they don't have the energy to cook, so they order bad food, and that bad food is just contributing more to the problem. So imagine if the tables were turned and you actually enjoyed coming home and doing all that, because that's what I get to see from a lot of my patients. Or how about never having to worry about how much sleep you're going to get tonight, or any night for that matter, or never having to worry about going to bed and then waking up feeling like if you ran a marathon, right? What would your life be like? What kind of difference would that make for you, for your job, right? What kind of productivity would that result in for you? What kind of impact would that have for those around you, your family members and your friends? I know that it would be big because I've seen big things happen in a lot of my own patients, right? People who are now living outrageous lives. So I know it can have a big impact, but I want you to be able to see that and to want that. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about a few results, right? So a few testimonials that I asked some patients to share with me regarding this specific program that I'm talking about. Here's a patient of mine who wrote in. She said, "No doubt, fatigue becomes daunting to live with, but thanks to Dr. D, he took my lack of motivation and doubts away with sound advice and the help that I needed. He covered everything I needed to get well. I am now in a completely different place mentally and physically, and Dr. D had such a big hand in that. I don't know what I would have done without his knowledge, advice, and help. And even though we have never met, Dr. D has a special place in my heart. Thank you." Here's another one, and this is of a patient who was actually diagnosed with breast cancer before she became a patient of mine, and I started working with her. And here's what she had to say. "When I found Dr. D, I was already midstream in my healing process with breast cancer. By the time I met him, my energy was completely zapped, and I had no other options. I had done every diet, all the detoxes, the de-stressing, and therapy, but I still needed to do more. With Dr. D's help, I followed a protocol which resulted in success. He is a kind, gentle, healing soul with so much knowledge." And then there's, so this is Sherry, and this is a really cool patient of mine who we've become friends really through email and a lot of our phone calls. Here's what she had to say. "The 4 essentials, which are the essentials that I'm going to be discussing with you today, that Dr. Daniel laid out for me have positively impacted my life. I became so aware of basic elements like reducing my toxic exposure and learning about easy saliva and urine tests to improve my health and actually see his methods working. Because of Dr. Daniel, I am a remarkably happier, healthier person. I can never thank him enough for such a transforming effect on my life. He is the best. Love forever. And that's awesome. I really do love hearing and reading all these testimonials. And what I look forward to is that you're going to be one of those individuals, and that in the next few weeks even, you're going to be writing back to me, telling me how you've been able to change things around for yourself. Now, let's get into what we're going to be discussing on this webinar. We're going to discuss secret number 1, which is what's draining the energy from your body and how to reverse it. We're also going to talk about secret number 2, which is how to transform every single cell in your body to become an energy producing factory, and what are the specific structures in your cells that actually help you to produce energy. And I'm also going to give you a brief idea of the diet that helps to focus in on that. Secret number 3 is really the understanding that we now live in a time, in a place, in a world that we have to help our bodies detox systems. So your body detoxes naturally. Okay, that's a given. Your body knows how to detox. It has filters and systems that help you to eliminate bad things. But we are so overloaded with toxins, and we have so many things that we shouldn't have in our bodies now, in our environment and in our polluted world, that we have to be putting things in order to help. So that's what secret number 3 is all about. And then finally, secret number 4, which is really a component that most people often miss, and this really helps to bring it full circle. What are the activities that you can do today to biohack your way to increase energy? So those are the 4 secrets that we're going to cover, and let's just go ahead and get right into it. Secret number 1, what's draining the energy from your body and how to reverse it. So secret number 1 is really, in order to begin the process, you have to stop the source of all toxins. You have to cut all the sources of toxins. It's no longer a secret that our world is heavily polluted. The toxic chemical exposure that your body is exposed to really comes by way of air, by way of water, through the food that we're eating, even if it's whole foods. The soil, right? So even if you were getting a whole food, a vegetable, that soil is tainted, and that's how it gets inside your body. As well as the thousands of environmental chemicals and toxins that are now in the products that we use on a daily basis. So again, it's no secret that pollution and pollutants have become a serious problem for our body. We now know that since World War II, upwards of 85,000 toxic chemicals have been released into our environment and have been exposed to our bodies, many of which, thousands, right? Only a few hundred have been studied, which means that thousands more, we have no idea as far as how it's impacting our bodies and how it could be damaging our organs. We do know, and this was a recent study done by the Environmental Working Group, that babies, right? So newborns, babies born on day 1, when they took their blood of umbilical cord, they found that on average there were 200 chemicals in the umbilical cord blood of newborn babies. So as soon as we're born, we already have 200 chemicals within our bodies. And what's even more shocking is that a little over 100 of those chemicals are known carcinogens, meaning we know that it causes damage to the DNA, which means that it, of course, could be causing all sorts of other problems. So this is really a serious issue. Pollution and its effects can be found in virtually every place on this planet. So what are some of the health effects of pollution? Well, I'm going to tell you that there is substantial evidence. We now know in the medical literature that a lot of these different compounds ultimately cause headaches and fatigue. So first you have air pollution. So you have all sorts of particulates that are released from our factories, from automobiles, and all the industrial processes that we have, where it really just goes into the air. You've got lead, you've got volatile organic compounds, sulfur oxides and nitrous oxides, and all of this, of course, goes into our respiratory system, and then, of course, it impacts our brain and our nervous system. You also have water pollution, right? So even if you're drinking tap water, your tap water is loaded with bacteria and parasites and even chemicals because it's chemically treated. We now know that our water supply has micro levels of pharmaceuticals. And so what kind of impact is that having on your energy levels? And then there, of course, is soil contamination, so runoff and pesticides and all these herbicides that get into our food. And then, of course, they then enter into our body, and that impacts how we absorb nutrients, and then, of course, our energy levels, right? So you have all these things that are coming in and impacting your body, and we know for sure that these chemicals will zap away your energy and cause fatigue. So it's something that really needs to be addressed. So not only do I want to bring your awareness up, right, and I want to talk about these secrets, but I want to give you some action steps. So with each one of these steps, I'm going to give you each one of these secrets, I'm going to give you 4 takeaways, 4 things that you can walk away from today and actually start to execute. Action step number 1 is I want you to look through your life, through your house even, and figure out how you can eliminate just one source of toxicity. Whether that's a shampoo that's loaded with chemicals or a deodorant that's loaded with chemicals. Can you find a healthier solution? Maybe there's detergents that you can use that are better. Or maybe there's different foods that you can be buying, right, that aren't loaded with all sorts of toxins inside of them. Artificial colors and artificial flavors. I'm going to share with you what I have found. And again, I've worked with hundreds, now thousands of people with respect to toxicity and fatigue. What I have found to work the best for most people is to simply eliminate plastic. So if you're, at a loss and you don't know what you should do, I'm going to tell you, eliminate plastic. And what I mean by that, don't drink out of plastic bottles anymore. Don't store your food in plastic containers. We now know that plastic leaches from that into our food, and then we eat it, and it has an impact on our body. It contributes to toxic load. Definitely don't microwave your food in plastic. Right? So I think that's something that's practical that almost everybody can work towards. Go and buy some glass containers, some ceramic containers, use different containers, just don't use plastic, okay? That's a really simple thing that you can start doing today to start eliminating or reducing your toxic load. I want to share with you a few testimonials specifically on that. Bill Ham. Bill was a guy that contacted me who said that he had been to several doctors who said, oh, you've got thyroid issues, you've got hormone issues. They tried doing all kinds of things for him. And he was really just getting depressed because nothing was helping him. He was tired. He has two kiddos. He felt bad because he couldn't play soccer with them, right? They wanted to go outside and play almost every weekend, and he just didn't have the energy to do it. And he was tired, right? And he heard about me from another one of my patients, and he watched my webinar, and he decided to follow through with a lot of the steps that I recommended. And here's something that he had to say. For those of you who know me, you know that I've struggled with depression and low energy for years. All I can say is after a few simple tweaks, I'm so much better. #energy, Dr. Daniel DC, and life. And that's amazing. And this is something that he just wrote this year, July 28th, which is pretty cool. Caitlin Meyerton, here's somebody who she hates it because she's so young and she's in college, and she has all these people who are just wanting to do all sorts of activities and participate in all kinds of clubs and collegiate events, and she just doesn't have the energy to do it. Right. And she says she just wants to go home and sleep, and she barely has enough time to study. And then the excess time she just sleeps because she has no energy. Who would have thought that using plastic could cause fatigue and low energy? I stopped using plastic a few weeks ago, and now I feel so much better. And so again, just a simple tweak in your lifestyle can result in some pretty amazing changes. That's something that I want you to remember from this webinar. Trisha Kelly says, wow, this brain fog that I've been dealing with is finally gone. I've struggled with fatigue for so long, and now I'm myself again. Shout out to Dr. Daniel DC and the Clean Detox for helping me out. And then Jack Millen. Now, I took this snapshot from Facebook because he had over 211 likes, which is just awesome. Per my doctor's recommendations, I've eliminated a few common household sources of toxins. I seriously can't believe how much more energy I have thanks to the Clean Detox for helping me feel so much better. How cool is that? Very simple tweaks that you can make in your lifestyle for a dramatic change. And that's really what I've done is over the last decade, over the last several years, I've put all this information that I've gathered, and I've teased out the data points where I found that have the biggest bang for their buck, right? In terms of making changes and how it can have a huge influence. And that's the stuff that I'm trying to share with you tonight. Most people who think that they're tired are actually toxic. This is a very important statement given by Dr. Sherry Rogers, who is on the board of directors of the American Academy of Environmental Medicine. So many people out there who think, who know that they have low energy, who are tired and struggling with their fatigue. They just don't realize that they're toxic. And that's actually a perfect example of toxicity, is when you start to have low energy and fatigue. And what starts to happen is that these toxins are damaging the structures that literally help you to produce energy. And that leads me to secret number 2. Secret number 2 is, how can you transform every cell in your body to become energy producing factories? Well, here's an important takeaway. What is an energy producing factory for your body? So literally, how does your body produce energy? What are the things that you need in order to be to have high energy, in order to reverse fatigue? Well, there are structures in our bodies that are known as mitochondria. So secret number 2 is that we need to create new healthy cells, or new cells that have healthy mitochondria. Now, mitochondria are, these are tiny little structures that exist in every single cell in your body. Okay, so your body is made up of billions of cells. You have billions of cells that all work together, and each one of these cells have these mitochondria. And the more mitochondria that you have, the more energy you're going to be producing, because mitochondria literally produce energy. Now, what happens is, because of stress, because of unhealthy food or unhealthy food choices, because of environmental toxins like we've been talking about, all these compounds are known to damage your mitochondria. So if that happens, you're no longer producing energy. On the flip side, we know that there's certain foods that help to build mitochondria. We know that your environment, literally the environment that you put yourself in, your house, spending time outside, exercise, right? We know there are things that actually can ramp up mitochondria. So here's a picture of what that looks like. Again, the mitochondria are the powerhouses of your body. And you've got billions of these cells that look just like this. And then these little bean structures that you see here where the arrows are pointing to, those are your mitochondria. And your mitochondria, again, help you to produce energy. So what are the things that you need to be doing to put inside your body to actually ramp up your mitochondrial production? Because that is ultimately what's going to produce your energy. So mitochondria, like we just discussed, thrive off of certain nutrients, many of which are found in green leafy vegetables. It's also important to note that grass-fed meat, or meat that's not raised in conventional farms, this makes a big difference. They've actually determined that the meat that has hormones and antibiotics and all sorts of herbicides and pesticides from cows that are not raised properly or given improper diets, those steaks will not produce healthy mitochondria in your body. On the flip side, meat that comes from a cow that was properly raised, who was fed grass, who was never given hormone, that kind of meat actually will ramp up your mitochondrial production. So pretty interesting how the source, right, where your food comes from, makes a big impact. The same is true with wild-caught fish and then healthy fats. Scientists now understand that our mitochondria are sensitive to free radicals, right? It's the compounds that actually damage your structures that come from environmental pollutants and viruses and bacterial infections. All this will damage your mitochondria. So if you live every day like you're running a marathon, right? If you wake up in the morning and you just absolutely have no energy, or if you get home and the only thing that you can do is just sit down on the couch and watch TV, that is a perfect example of mitochondrial disease or mitochondrial dysfunction. And there are specific steps that you need to take in order to reverse that process. So action step number 2, what's the takeaway for this? One thing, again, and there's many things that I can share with you, but what I have found to be the simplest for most people to start acting on is to just make yourself a rule and make yourself a commitment and say that no matter what, every single time that I have a meal, right? Every single meal, whether that's breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever it is, that you're going to eat one piece of whole fruit or one piece of vegetable, a raw piece of fruit or vegetable, at least in the morning, at least at lunch, and at least at night, right? So morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, do it either before or after, and that's it. As simple as that sounds, I've had so many people report back to me about how much better they feel. And what starts to happen is it creates this cycle where they start to feel better with it, and then they want more, and they crave it because they literally are revitalizing. They're bathing their mitochondria in nutrients, and you want more of it, and that's what starts to happen. So make that commitment that you're going to add at least one piece of fruit or vegetable before or after every meal. Here's a couple of more testimonials, snapshots that I took. Patricia Garcia. Now, Patricia, this is pretty cool. She's single. She's become a really good friend of mine through Facebook. She was somebody who came to me. She had weight issues. She had tried previous detox programs. She found that a lot of things were not helping her out. She tried playing around with her diet, right? She tried all sorts of diet supplements. She even tried to artificially increase her energy through different supplements. And she just found that nothing was helping. And in fact, it even made her more sick. And here's something that I asked her to write something, and she wrote this yesterday, at least at the time of this recording. I've tried so many diets in the past and really didn't feel any difference. Following the easy steps of the clean detox made all the difference. Thanks, Dr. Daniel. Rhonda Williams actually put a link in the Facebook, and that's what you see here, to the Clean Detox program. I've tried so many diets in the past, and it really didn't make a difference. Following these steps helped me to feel better. So again, pretty amazing when I hear some of these people who are writing out telling me how much better they feel with following the guidelines, right, that I'm giving to them. Secret number 3. After we cut out the toxins and then we start to create new healthy cells, the next step is to complement your body's detox systems. So like we discussed, not only do you have to change how you're eating, right, and eliminate the source of toxicity, but we have to help our body's natural detoxification systems. Quite frankly, that's just the world that we live in now. We have so many toxins that we now have to be conscious of putting things in order to help out the system. So here's a shocking fact. 33% of the population has parasites that are draining their energy. Take that into account. 1 out of every 3 people that you know are walking around with parasites inside their bodies. Now, parasites literally hijack your body, they take hold of your body, and they will drain your energy because they damage those mitochondria. Or in fact, we now know that the energy that the mitochondria produce, your parasites actually are taking advantage of that and using it, which is causing a drain towards you. We also know that you can have chronic viral or bacterial infections that will take away your energy just if you are sick. So just like when you get the flu or if you have a cold, we all know that, your energy levels tank, right? You just don't feel really good. Well, that happens because your immune system is being activated and your body is trying to tell you to rest so that way you can actually defeat the infection. Well, we now know that you can have a chronic infection, which means that you're not hit like you are when you have the flu, right? You're not down and out, but you're sick enough to where it's activating your immune system, which is draining your energy. So it's very important to be putting something into your body to bind to these parasites and then eliminate them, or to bind to these bacteria and these viruses and help your body to get rid of them. And if you never do that, then you're always going to have low energy, even though you're eating healthy and you're doing all the right things. So it's very important to have that understanding. So action step number 3 is to take toxic binders or toxin binders, things like bentonite clay, IMD, there's acacia gum, there's also charcoal tablets, chlorella. These are all compounds that you can take. Or maybe look at a detox tea, something, there's a lot of liver detox teas out there that you can take daily that can help you with that. So that's an action step that I'd like you to start taking daily. If you're somebody who struggles with low energy, it could be that you've got some of these chronic infections or viral infections that are actually draining your energy. Here's a couple of more testimonials. Carrie Bradford. A few weeks ago, I found out that I had high levels of mercury and lead in my body. Under the guidance of my doctor, I started taking IMD, which is intestinal metals detox, and bentonite clay to start the process of detoxing. My energy levels have slowly started to come back, and my weight is starting to come off. So happy. Thanks, Dr. D. Hashtag the clean detox. Now, Carrie is actually somebody who she went on vacation. She got married. Her and her husband got married. They went on vacation. She never had health problems prior to that. They went out of the country, and when she came back, she was feeling really sick. And for months, she went to various doctors. She tried different things. Nothing was helping her out. And it wasn't until she came to me, we started working with her. When I first met her, she was just exhausted. I could see she had dark circles under her eyes. She had rashes on her skin. She was very pale. She was lethargic. I mean, she didn't move. She moved slowly. She talked very slowly. And turns out, and I've been working with her, we did some advanced toxicity testing. We found out that she had heavy metals and she had mold toxicity. So we put her on a program to try to help reverse and bind some of this stuff. And sure enough, she's starting to feel better, which is pretty cool. Henry, he's a really good friend of mine. Actually, we went to college together. I've been taking the Ultra Binder for 2 weeks now, and I feel amazing. I would have never thought that my body was so toxic with chemicals and plastics. I feel great. Again, it's pretty awesome whenever I hear things like this because sometimes there's just simple tweaks that we can do and people feel better. Lauren Scheimer. 5 years ago, I was exposed to mold in an old apartment building. This resulted in depression, illness after illness, and chronic fatigue. Now that I'm detoxing my body, gross things are literally coming out of me. I am finally feeling better. And this is pretty interesting, again, because here you have people who are otherwise young and healthy, and they shouldn't really feel the way that they're feeling, but a lot of these things are just getting missed, and they're not properly being diagnosed or handled. And this is where I come in. And again, I love the fact that we now have all this information that we can help people to reverse their low energy and their fatigue, or some of these deeper underlying toxicity issues that they're dealing with. So let's move on to secret number 4. And I really love this part because this is something that I have focused on for myself and my family the last few years. And that is cultivating your lifestyle for increased energy. So what do I mean by that? Health is not simply eating healthy and exercising, okay? And if anybody tells you, oh, you just need to exercise more or you just need to eat better, that is a lie. That does not work because it goes beyond that. Our bodies are made up of billions of cells that themselves are simply vibrating molecules of energy. And this is the hard science, right? So if you study physics, anybody who studies hard physics knows that we are just energy. And it's pretty neat how medicine is starting to now fuse with physics. And we're making some brilliant discoveries in terms of how to enhance our own health by way of becoming more holistic and knowing that it's not just about how you eat or how you exercise. So this is some amazing stuff that we really need to start dialing in on and paying attention to. If we are to experience everlasting energy, then we need to keep our sources connected. And this comes from some of the best medical journals that are out there. And what are the sources that we need to focus on keeping connected? That is your brain, your body, and your mind, right? So we need to make sure that we're focusing on those 3 things. So increasing energy requires us to dial in on other factors that include sleep. So we need to optimize your sleep cycles. We need to connect again with the earth. And what I mean by that is that for hundreds of thousands of years as animals, we roamed the earth and we touched the earth. We literally, with our hands and our feet and our skin, we touched the earth. Today, no longer are we doing that. So in such a short amount of time, we've stopped connecting to the earth. And scientific studies have proven that there is a certain amount of voltage or energy transfer when your body makes physical contact with the earth. And so we've been robbing ourselves of that nutrient for so long, and we need to get back to that. Another thing is getting sunlight. So many people think that just vitamin D is all you need, right? So then that's why you get sunlight. And we now know that there are over 20 human chemicals and compounds that are produced from direct sunlight. So you need that sunlight in order to be healthy. And so getting sunlight and bathing in sunlight goes far beyond vitamin D production. Another thing, again, like I said, is not simply working out, but also working in. So we need to have active recovery. And what do I mean by that? We need to be doing things like deep breathing exercises, yoga, Pilates, right? Something that is not like running or lifting weights or swimming, not exertion, but things that are harnessing energy and bringing it back in. Meditation is also a perfect example. And then finally, a very important concept when we talk about working in is reconnecting with a personal purpose or passion in life. And this is a whole extra course, right, that we can get into. But if you don't have a purpose or a passion in life, then you literally, your brain has no need to be driving towards anything. So why would you be producing energy in the first place? And these are some of the things that I do get into to try to help you within my system, right, within my program. Action step number 4. Okay, so what do I want you to do or focus on in terms of cultivating a healthy lifestyle? I want you to commit to spending 5 minutes every day in direct sunlight. And I know that everyone, all of you right now have at least 5 minutes. You at least have the energy to spend 5 minutes in direct sunlight every single day. That is going to do so much for you. You have no idea. Not only in terms of vitamin D production, but all these other chemicals and compounds that actually help to revitalize our energy and to build our bodies up. And for those 5 minutes, if you can, try to focus on gratitude. Right? What are the things that you enjoy or that you're grateful for? Even though your life may not be where you want it to be, maybe it's just grateful for having those 5 minutes, right? It's grateful for being in the sunshine, for having that and not being somewhere in some kind of cave. So again, really just making a commitment to do that, I know can change your life. So here are a few more testimonials. Adam Pinkston, people with low energy. I have to admit, I was a skeptic of detox programs, but now that I'm feeling so much better, everyone around me knows that I've changed from the inside. I need to share with everyone and let them know that they can change. Check out www.thecleandetox.com for a great program. This is pretty cool. Adam actually shared with me, he said that in his office that his coworkers never invited him out to eat. Nobody ever wanted him to go, basically they never invited him anywhere, right? He was kind of just alone within his workplace. And it wasn't until he had a conversation with one of the coworkers that everybody just thought that he was grumpy and he was always in a bad mood. And Adam said that really the thing was that it wasn't necessarily that he was trying to be mean to people. It's just that he never felt well. And after doing this program, his personality changed, and now he laughs with his coworkers, and now he goes out with them. And so that's a pretty neat story coming from Adam, right? And some of the changes that he's had. Jelena, most doctors just want to shove pills down your mouth. Vitamins, medications, tinctures, that's their only solution. I was so frustrated with all of that mess that I decided I needed something different. Thank you, Dr. Daniel, for creating the Clean Detox and guiding me to better health both physically and mentally. It's what I truly needed. Again, these stories like this are just truly awesome because they inspire me to keep doing the things that I'm doing. And this last one, Kelly, here's somebody who came to me who, she's a personal trainer. She was fit, right? She looked good. She had a healthy physique. She wasn't overweight. But she just started having low energy and she had no idea what was happening. And she went to doctors, she read books, she did all sorts of programs. And a lot of people just they had no answers for her because she was already doing the things that they wanted her to do, right? She was already eating healthy. And here's what she had to say. I'm a healthy person. I take great care of myself and I've always had a good diet. But this fatigue hit me out of nowhere. I would literally wake up feeling like I had just ran for miles. My body was heavy, depressed, and it felt like someone was always holding my body down. After watching your webinar, something resonated with me and I decided that enough was enough. I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm so glad to have my body back. Honestly, I can't tell you, again, when I get these personal messages and these testimonials, it is why I do what I do. And it's also what led me to even create the Clean Detox program, because I did get to a point where I was just too busy and I wasn't able to help people, and people kept on referring their friends and family members to me. And so again, it just kind of drove me to say, okay, I need to help more people, and what's a way that I can do that? And that's really what brought me to this. But before we continue, quick question. Is everybody enjoying the webinar right now? And if so, please, just enter some comments. Just jot out a couple of things. Did you learn something? Is there something, or maybe there's something that you have to share, right, with everyone else? Again, part of what I try to do is create community, especially in my office. So just jot some things down. And I just really wanted to take a quick break to see, how are we doing? Is everybody enjoying it? I hope so. Let's take it to the next level. Okay, I want to do a little bit more and give you a little bit more insight into some of the things that I'd like you to know that I have to offer. So far, we've covered secret number 1, which is cutting out toxins, right? You have to eliminate the source of toxicity if you want to start feeling better. We also talked about how to create new healthy cells, or not only are you eliminating the source of toxicity, but then you need to create new healthy cells to drive up your mitochondria, which actually help to produce energy. And then secret number 3 is complementing your body's detoxification systems. Finally, number 4 is how to cultivate a healthy lifestyle, and what are the things that you can be doing to be connecting all the dots to truly put yourself into a position to drive up your energy. So those are all the things that we've covered. And really, I do a deep dive into each one of these. I know that I touch these on the surface, but quite frankly, to get into all the information that I'd have to cover, it takes several hours. And that was part of the problem. I created the Clean Detox Self-Study course because I just didn't have enough time, right, to teach all of the patients everything that they needed to know, because each one of those takes about 2 or 3 hours to discuss every single element in order for you to own it and in order for you to incorporate it into your life. And again, because I had so many people that were coming to me saying, that they needed help and I just didn't have the time to do it, I created a self-study course so that way people could follow through and actually take advantage of all the information that I've put together from the years of research that I know that works for people. So the Clean Detox goes much deeper on each of the 4 steps that we just discussed to dramatically increase your energy and finally help you to defeat fatigue. Now, here's what you get when you purchase the Clean Detox Self-Study course. Again, you get the 4-module self-study course, which each one of those modules are the 4 secrets that we just discussed, and we dive much deeper into what it is that you have to do, all the information that you have to know, and what are the action steps that you have to do in order to follow through and actually get yourself to be in a better position. Now, people started going through the program, and then I had patients that said, hey, I literally want you to tell me exactly what to do. So because of that, I created another part of the program, which is the Clean Detox 7-week roadmap. And that is literally where I walk you hand in hand, and every day for 7 weeks, I tell you exactly what to do. So if you're somebody that just likes to plug in and follow a program, this is for you. Because again, that's what the detox roadmap is all about. I also decided to include my advanced toxicity protocols. And here's where I get into how to diagnose whether or not you have chronic infections, parasites, gut infections, whether or not you have heavy metals, what types of heavy metals, what types of tests can you do to determine what types of environmental pollutants or chemicals do you have in your body. And for a lot of my private pay patients, a lot of my executive level patients who come to me where they've been everywhere and they want to know what tests that we have to do, I put this program together because I felt that no detox program is complete without knowing this information. So you get all of that as well. I'm going to throw in the advanced toxicity protocols. And then finally, I'm giving you my best recipe book that are approved for the Clean Detox. So you get all of that information. And again, this is a total value of close to $2,000. But I've got a bonus that I'm going to throw in for you because everybody likes bonuses, right? It is a self-study course, and you can go through this program and you can walk yourself through it. There's high quality videos and modules that teach you every step right of the way. But I want you to have the best support available. So as a bonus, I'm going to throw in 3 months of email support. Now, for patients that come to me, to my office, and they want to incorporate functional medicine into their care, and I have a service which is unlimited consults and unlimited email, text support, this is $200 a month. You're going to get 3 months of this for free. So again, this is $600 worth of support, and you're getting it as a bonus because I want to make sure that you get as much value again for this program. It's self-study, right? It's self-guided, but I want to make sure that you have one-on-one attention with me. Now, if you only got that, right? If you only got the bonus of 3 months of support, which is basically unlimited emails, so you can ask as many health questions as you'd like about diet and supplements and exercise. You know, what should you do about this? What you should do about that? You get all of that, right? Basically, I'm going to be your personal concierge doctor for 3 months. Would it be worth the amount of the investment for this type of program? I'm going to say yes, and I know this because a lot of my patients have already told me that it's worth it. But what if you were going to get something more than that? What if I was going to throw in another bonus? My bonus number 2 is what I call my Habits of Success Journal. I used to give a course to entrepreneurs and CEOs to help them take their business to the next level. These were people that I would help optimize their health because their health was actually interfering with their business, right, with their productivity. And I found that a lot of these people, they wanted to take action, but they didn't know how. Or they just had a bunch of bad habits. So I would teach this course that was designed to help them break their bad habits. And I turned that course into a journal, and that's what this is. This is the Habits of Success journal that I'm going to throw in. Now, why am I doing this? I'm sure you all have been to webinars or you've been to classes before. You've gone to something that interested you, and you got some great information, and then what happened the next day or the next week? Maybe nothing, right? A lot of times, and I know this, a lot of times nothing happens because old habits are hard to break. Well, I don't want that for you. I don't want this just to be another webinar that you show up. I'm all about taking action. And so this Habits of Success journal is something that you need in order to succeed. And that's why I'm throwing this in there, okay? So again, I realize that information alone is not enough. For the last half hour, I've shared a ton of information with you, right? But as you know, just getting information is not enough. We need to execute. We need to act on that. And that's something that I've been trying to talk about, right? And again, that's something we just talked about with the last slide. So making a decision to do something, that's what it takes. And if you're committed, okay, if you're committed to, and you make a decision, you just say, you know what? I've had enough. I'm tired of struggling with my fatigue and my low energy. I want to feel better. If you make that commitment tonight, I'm going to mirror image that commitment, and I'm going to follow up with something even better. Bonus number 3 is a one-on-one consult. If you're willing to put in the time, so am I. So I will spend, whether it's an hour and a half with you to develop a plan on top of everything that you're going to get, right? With the Clean Detox program, with all the other bonuses, you're going to get a one-on-one consult with me. So that way we can make sure that you get the absolute best value that you can get. Normally, my flat rate for this would be $495. That's literally what I charge. If you were to go to drdaniel.com right now and sign up for a functional medicine consult, you'd see that that's what that is. But you're getting this completely free as a bonus because you're committing to making a change in your health. And I want to give you a bonus, a special bonus just for that. So here's what you're going to get, again, in summary. You're going to get the 4-module self-study course where we do a deep dive into each one of the secrets that we just discussed. You get the Clean Detox 7-week roadmap, all the advanced toxicity protocols where we get into parasites and viruses and heavy metal toxicity. You get my Clean Detox recipes, 3 months of email support, and text messaging support. You also get my Habits of Success journal and then a one-on-one consult. And altogether, that brings the entire value for this program upwards of $3,000. But the good news is that for a limited time, it's only $147. Why is that? Because my goal is to try to help as many people as possible. And you know, I'm really not here to make money, right? It's not about the money, quite honestly, for me. At this point in my career, I am trying to help as many people as possible. And in order to do that, I need to make this accessible to as many people as possible. Now, that said, because of all that I'm giving you, I obviously have limited time. So there's only so much time that I can spread myself out with. And for all the consults that I know I'm going to be having to do, I can only do this for a limited time. So please, if this is something that you want to do, sign up, because as soon as registration's closed, it's closed. And I will not reopen this until I have more time available. So again, I want to help as many people as I can, but I only have a limited amount of time. So it's $147. You can go and buy that now. In fact, do it before the sales go through, because again, when I do this, I know that it sells out pretty quick. One thing that I'd like to talk about, and I always like to bring this up in any kind of health discussion that I give, is that I know that there's always 2 types of people that come to me. 2 types of people that watch my webinars or that come to my office. There's the person who really wants it, but they're not willing to take that step, right? It makes sense to them and they see that it's easy, but they're scared and they're not willing to take action. Now, here's the important thing to understand. You are your best doctor, and nobody is going to take better care of you than you. So you have to make the decision to act and to execute, right? And we all know that person who wants stuff and they always say things, but they never do it. So they're never going to get what they want in life. And I don't know about you, but I don't like working with people like that because, quite frankly, they never get what they want. And it's so hard to get them the results. But then there's the other person. There's the other person who shows up. They pay attention, they make notes, they realize how easy it is, and it's a simple to follow formula. They see that there's other people that are doing it, right? If other people can do it, so can they, and they act. And that's a very important differentiation between the other person. And those are the people that I like to work with. People like us, right, that are still here on this webinar because the other person's probably already gone. So if that's you, I congratulate you. And that's the person that I want to work with. And I know that that's the person that is going to make all the difference for themselves. And I know that you can do the same. But on top of that, if you are on the fence, I'm going to throw in a 30-day risk-free 100% money-back guarantee. And so what I mean by that is if you purchase right now and you get into the system, into the program, and you look at everything and you don't think that it's for you, right? Or you just don't have the time, whatever it is, you can email me and I'm going to refund you 100%, no questions asked. You get a full refund, plus you get to keep the bonuses. How about that? Just for trying. Which again, that means that I will still give you the 1-hour consult. You'll still get the email support, and you get my Habits of Success journal. And you get this guarantee. So again, that's the absolute best that I can do. I don't know any other way that I could help you other than what I'm doing right now, which I think this is just an amazing deal for you. So again, you can get started now. It's only $147. You can click the link and sign up. And I look forward to seeing you there. I look forward to hearing all the testimonials, just like some of these other people that I've recently received just in the last few weeks. Now, for those of you who did stay, here's how you can get your bonus, and here's the link. Again, at the beginning of this, I promised that you'd get a bonus. Just navigate to this URL that you see here, www.drdaniel.com/better sleep bonus, and you can download the sleep bonus right away. But more important, I hope that you actually get the Clean Detox program so you can start to reverse the process of your low energy and really start revitalizing your cells and living the life that you know that you deserve. I thank you for your time, and I really do look forward to communicating with you, to meeting you personally, and to having a conversation over the phone. We'll talk to you soon.